All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us here with GEG Asia Pacific and our Ignition EDU 25. Now, normally this time of the year, what we do is we have like kind of a big event. I gotta turn things down here. Big event where we've got multiple languages, lots of presentations all throughout Asia, broadcasts throughout the world on YouTube. But we are looking towards having a main event some other time in the middle of the year that's a little bit better for other people. And so we still wanted to have something in January where we could give you a few sessions, and hence Ignition EDU 25. So we've got some sessions which I'll post a little bit later in the comments section. Right now, I just want to get myself sorted out here to talk to you about YouTube. All right, so we've got a number of different sessions. Actually, before I get on with that, if you Google GEG APAC or GEG Asia Pacific, you're going to see on the landing page a list of workshops today and tomorrow in Tagalog, Filipino, English, Hindi, and a mix of Hindi and English. So hopefully you'll find something that you like. And then we're a main event later on in the year, you're going to see that we have a whole bunch of other languages as we usually do every year. So without further ado, I want to start talking about YouTube and some ways that you might use YouTube in the classroom, but haven't used in the classroom up until now. Now, I got my phone going. I'm going to see your comments happening here. So I do encourage you to post in the comment section where you're from or where you're viewing from, and any ideas that you might have. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right here and share my ideas with you, but it's always better when there's other people sharing stuff. Now I'm going to start with, I'm just going to share my tab here because I'm going to show a whole bunch of different things here as we go through the session. Let me get a little bit of water here. All right, everybody. So this is using YouTube a little bit better, right? And hopefully you'll find some of these ideas and activities engaging. First, a little bit about myself. My name is Nate. I teach at Nagoya International School in Nagoya, Japan, kind of in between Tokyo and Osaka. And I teach diploma program history and middle years program individuals and societies. So I am that social studies teacher at an IB school. I do educational technology consulting on the side because I am kind of that ed tech nerd as well. Not going to get into my whole background here because you want to hear about YouTube. Feel free to keep in touch. I'm going to have some links for you a little bit later, but you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and soon to be Blue Sky. I'll be joining that. And Social Studies Samurai or JapaneseHistoryTrip.com. So in this session, we're going to look at a bunch of different ways you can use YouTube. We are going to start with the interface because I do feel that in some cases people don't use the interface to the maximum potential that it has. So a little bit about the interface and then some ideas for activities or places you can go to find resources on YouTube that you can use. So it's a little bit of a mix. Just a note, you're not here to become a YouTuber. This is not about creating a YouTube channel. That's a whole different session that I do love to deliver, but this is all about how you can use YouTube a little bit better in the classroom. So here we're going to talk a little bit about YouTube and education, management features, like I said, how you might use this with third-party tools and Google Workspace, meaning your teaching practice, and then a bunch of ideas. We might get into the screencasting. We'll have to wait and see. So bear with me here. First, let's talk a little bit about YouTube and some of the stats. Now, these are pre-pandemic stats, so it does have to be updated, but it's food for thought. YouTube is the second most visited website on Earth next to Google search. My guess is TikTok is probably giving that a serious run for its money. 1 billion hours watched every day in over 100 countries, 80 languages, and I'm sure there's more, actually, because this is an old stat. Now, look at the number of people at the bottom here. 77% of 15 to 35-year-olds use YouTube. And now I think that, again, is switching a little bit to TikTok, where people are probably using both. And you've got parents that say, most parents actually say, yeah, my kids, they watch devices, right? And again, TikTok is probably really giving YouTube a run for its money. We don't have to go through this stuff. So let's get into features with YouTube. Now, if you bear with me here, I want to pull up my my own YouTube channel here. Not my own channel, that is, but my YouTube account. And I'm going to share this tab here. Let me just, I'm going to go back and forth actually from the slide deck. All right. Now, the first thing is filters. I'm not really sure if that a lot of people know that you can really find that video you're looking for if you use filters. So let me jump into YouTube again, and let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so let me think of a topic. Let me just go with I don't know, like something in Japanese history. The Kofun period. Let's go with something more people watching might actually know. Ancient Greece. Let's go with that. Ancient Rome, maybe. Okay, so right here I've got a whole bunch of videos on ancient Greece. Now you notice the filter thing has moved to a different place. It's right up there in the top right. In the past, it was in a different place. But if you click on the filter, you're going to get this thing pop up, and it's going to give you options to really narrow down your search. So when you think of the upload date, maybe you're looking for something more professional. So you might want to say, I want something this year. All right, so now you see it's changed already. So I'm going to go back to my filters in the top right. Something's going to come up from this year. It's going to be a video. No, so that means there's no new channels, playlists, or movies that are focused just on that. I want something under 4 minutes because I do want my students to really focus. Now notice YouTube Shorts have come in here, and I'm getting down and down and down as I limit and use my filters. Let's say I want something in 360. Let's see if this actually exists. Oh, and it does, right? So here's a virtual trip of Athens, Greece. Here's the 7 wonders of the ancient world. So the point with filters, we're not going to look at these because I'm going to show you some 360 stuff later that I think is kind of cool. But what you see now is by using the filters here, you can really narrow down what you want to find. Again, it could be like, VR 180 stuff that you're going to use with your students. Really, once you put in what you're looking for, now ancient Greece is pretty broad, right? But then use the filters to kind of narrow down to what might be out there, which I think is pretty cool. So, excuse me, we have a small human being making noise in the other room here, but that's okay because she's cool and cute. So essentially, that's what I've just showed you. I will give you a link to this slides deck after, so you can come and find all the links and work at it on your own. Now, making playlists, I think, is a good idea. That way it curates everything and puts things into one place. This idea that you're looking at right here, for example, is that I've asked my students to fill out a Google form with what kind of background music do you want to hear when we're just doing independent work at our desks and that kind of thing. Basically, then I can just create a YouTube list, and I've got background music. Obviously, no swearing and no naughty stuff in the songs that you want me to play in class. But basically, we come up with a playlist. That's just one idea. Again, this is not a tutorial on how to create a playlist. Just a few ideas. Another idea I do think is that you might want to find all those videos of one topic or perhaps one unit and just put them all into one place. This is a playlist of my one of my YouTube channels here, 360 videos if you want. It's called Japanese History Trip. It's a really good way just to keep everything organized, and you can make as many playlists as you want. As you can see, I have here on the side. I'm not going to get into 360 videos. We can talk about that a little bit later. So now there's another way that you can kind of organize these things. So let's go here. Let's say I've chosen, let me share this tab. So I've chosen this video. I'm going to use it in one of my ancient history classes for and a reminder, folks, please.
Hi, and welcome to Athens, a city that has been...
Pause that because I don't want to hear that. Now let's look at a few of the features here, okay? The first one here, right, your closed captioning. Great idea to add closed captions for those students that especially might be second language learners, maybe, to some extent or degree hearing impaired, that kind of thing. I always put the closed captions on so that it's just a normal thing in my class. And my students that might be second language learners, it supports them, but it's just expected. There's no stigma to it, right? You can have autoplay on. I like autoplay off. I don't like things going straight into what I want to do. For my school account, autoplay is off. If you go into the settings, excuse me, this is where you can play with a few more things, right? Like, again, you can change the language of the subtitles if you want. When you look at options and things like that, then you can change background colors and all that kind of thing. It just might be aesthetically better for your students. Note I've got like a black background here with my subtitles, right? That's your choice. Again, the quality of the video, right? You might have worry if you have good Wi-Fi, maybe raise it a little bit. That's your call. Now, if we jump in here, you're going to see this little ellipse right here. Whoops, let me just jump down here. And if you click on that, then you can save the video and you've got it right there. Let me just kind of get out here. Let's see. And in this case, you can download this video. All right, that's kind of cool. And of course, you can subscribe to channels. That's not the point of this, though. We don't have to worry about that. So let me just jump to the next little thing that we're going to do. Yeah, let's go back to the video as it was right here. Okay, now you notice if I've chosen, I know this video, it's one that I like. I want you to just kind of look right here in the top left where you see the ellipse. And when you tap on that, then you have another set of features, right? This is where you can get the link to share it with other people, where you can download, you can add it to a queue of your videos that you want to watch in a certain order, save it to a playlist. If you click on that, it's going to give you a choice of what playlist to save it to. It just makes things go a little bit more quickly. So just a few things about your YouTube channel interface that you might not have known about. Let's see, and let's move to the next one here, the little buttons. Of course, the subscribe button, I'm sure we've all seen. Yeah, this is something we're going to look at. Let's actually go to that, back to that channel right there that we were looking at. Here we go. Let's see. It seems that VR Gorilla, does it have shorts? Yes, they've got their playlist. They have shorts. So you've noticed that YouTube's trying to keep up with TikTok, right? And they've got now what are called YouTube Shorts. They've actually been around for a few years. So whenever you go to a channel, have a look at the shorts. And they're intended to be really short, like about a minute long, for the most part, taken from your phone. Mind you, you can edit and upload later and that kind of thing. They also have podcasts in here. Let me jump right back here to this tab here, like I'm working with. So you notice here's History Extra, right? They also have podcasts. You might want to think about this for your own teacher channel, right? You might not have time to make these big typical videos in landscape format, right? The 16:9 sizing. But you might want podcasts. Like, record your audio explaining things to students. Some of them will use it. Now, short videos too. I'm going to show you some examples of shorts in a little bit that will give you good examples of how short little videos could actually be effective in teaching students certain skills in small chunks. We'll get to that in a little bit, though. I do want to get to the YouTube audio library because I'm quite certain a lot of people don't know what the YouTube audio library is. So let me just click on this. I'm going to share this tab instead. Now, with YouTube Audio Library, you can either click through your the left side of your YouTube channel and then access it that way. Excuse me, cough coming on. Now, the YouTube Audio Library, what's beautiful about this magical little world is that all of these are copyright-free songs that you can use when you make your own videos or when your students make their own videos. So the audio library, you notice here that you can search by filter. So if I was to click on the filter, I can go with a track title or an artist name. If I already know an artist name, maybe duration, right? Let's say I want something longer than, or let's say shorter than. Shorter than, I'm going to say 5 minutes. Because I've already made my video. I know it's actually about 4.5 minutes long, so I'm looking for something a little bit shorter than 5 minutes. Let me go on my filters again. I'm going to go for like the mood. I want something maybe bright. I click apply, and okay, now let's give this a little bit of a listen to. Let's go with I'm not into country and folk. Maybe I'll actually go and change the genre a little bit. Maybe cinematic. Let's see what that one does. Okay, let's see. Quirk and twerk. Not quite what I'm looking for.
Oh why, oh why, oh why, oh why.
Oh, kind of like that. Maybe that's what I'm going to go with. Now, if I want it, you'll notice hopefully over here on the left, on the right, you can click download and you're good to go. And of course, you can see the duration of the song. So maybe I'm going to loop it and use it a couple of twice. Maybe if I liked this song, I might go to the Artist National Sweetheart and have a look at some of their other stuff on YouTube Audio Library. Now, if you click here and see the license type, you just have to mouse over. This one says you don't have to give any attribution when you use the song. I highly recommend you do that. It's just academically honest. I always put in where I get my background music from for the videos that I make for my students. And we should be encouraging our students to do that. So that's the YouTube audio library. You go into YouTube Studio to access it. It's a beautiful, wonderful thing. All right, now let me go back here. Let's see. You can actually also download some YouTube videos. You can use ad blockers and things like that. I'm not going to get into those right now. Remember, if you're using things for educational purposes, generally that's it's not challenged, but hopefully just really linking your YouTube videos you use in your class to a slide deck or whatever it is you're using, right? We talked about the gear wheel, so we don't have to do that. So real quick, YouTube and Google Classroom. One thing about Google Classroom using YouTube, when you actually use YouTube within Google Classroom, the ads are gone. That's quite nice. Another tool actually called Edpuzzle. When you use YouTube videos with that, the ads are gone as well, which is really, really cool. So one way you might want to think about using YouTube video in Google Classroom, really simply, take a video, link it to the stream, and say, okay, everybody, watch between 1 minute and 3.5 minutes and respond to this prompt. And then the students respond to the stream, and then you and as the teacher, you can respond back. Again, in Google Classroom, you could make it a quiz if you wanted to. And then, again, use that as just a really quick tool to see that students understand a concept. Maybe you're introducing something using a YouTube video. Maybe you're reinforcing something using a YouTube video, but using it in the Google Classroom stream, not only within the assignments and activities feature, which you could do as well. And you could actually have the quiz generated for you, right? Which is a cool feature of Google Classroom now as well. All right. Now we're getting into the shorts again here because I want you to look at some really simple YouTube videos that you could do with your students. Now I want to give you a few examples of shorts which are intended to be made with your phone, and you're doing it in portrait format, and again with your phone, so the orientation is that way when you're recording. I like this one, English Lessons with Kate. So let's have a look here. Let me just click on let's see which one here. I don't know. I've got the shorts here. There was one that I thought was really good. Let's see. I think I broke my wrist. Let's go with that one. There was another one I thought was really funny though.
Hello, doctor. I think I broke my wrist.
Hi, Kate. What happened?
I fell off my bike.
All right, let's take a look at that.
Be careful, please.
Does it hurt here?
Yes, that really hurts.
Can you move your fingers? Just put some ice on your...
Okay, so this is like a dialogue with herself looking at how to speak in a doctor's office. Let me give you a quick little look here though. There was another one in here. Here, look, how to ask for help at different levels.
How to ask for help at different levels.
Help.
Can you help me, please? Could you give me a hand? Would you mind helping me with this box? Could I trouble you to help me carry this? I'd really appreciate your guidance with this box.
Okay, so you can see that, what this person has done is created like short little videos to teach language. Maybe you couldn't do a math concept, but maybe it could be like, elements in chemistry or something like that. Simple little things like that on your YouTube channel that, not only your students, but others can access and maybe ask questions and engage and interact with you as well. Wouldn't really take that much. And with the YouTube Studio app on your phone, you can do all the editing and downloading there. Now, this person clearly has done a little bit more in terms of production. You don't really have to put that much effort into it, though. I thought that was quite a good one. And let me just look at another one here. Early childhood learning. Okay, let's have a look at this. Let me just close a couple of these things. Let's go with, let's see. Okay, math class for kids. All right,
Let's review together. What science do we use every day almost without realizing it? Perfect! Mathematics! And what instrument?
Okay, so you kind of get the idea. I'm going to go with guitar lessons here. Here's another one. I have a guitar. I used to have a guitar club in my last couple of schools. That's why I kind of like this one here. So if you're a guitar teacher or a music teacher, you can even teach just a couple of simple little things using YouTube. Look at that. Close those. Math class for kids kind of thing. All right, make sure that we're back to the right place here. So again, YouTube Shorts, think about it. And YouTube Shorts are meant to be just like 1 minute kind of thing. So why not just take some concepts or things you're teaching and break it down into little chunks of videos? Now, if you want to monetize, it's going to take a heck of a lot of those videos to make any money. Now, here's another one that a teacher has done. And again, he's used the landscape format. He's taken this just with his phone and simply uploaded it to the net. But here's a teacher traveling in the Arctic, and he's challenging his students with a question. And it's super short, super simple.
So all over the Arctic, permafrost is melting at an incredible rate. So let's figure out, what is permafrost? Permafrost is what it sounds like.
Okay, so I'm going to skip right ahead.
Scientists, historians, and us as the general public are just starting to comprehend.
Okay, and in this other video, he actually asks a question, right? So here's a teacher that's gone on a trip, not with his students, but he's turned that into an opportunity to teach his students a little bit more about the Arctic, and in particular, Arctic biomes such as tundra, right? You could do that too, right? Just got to think about how you can leverage YouTube and video in your classes, right? Sangeeta, my pal in India, New Delhi, and GEG Leader for New Delhi NCR. Hey, there you are. Good to see you, Sangeeta. Yeah, I've added a few new ideas to this one. I've been doing this workshop for a while here, but I've got some new things in here, which is why I wanted to do it. Love YouTube. It's great to see you, Sangeeta. Looking forward to your sessions tomorrow as well. All right, so let's think about a few other things here, right? So you saw when we were using the filters, right? I could filter down just to find some 360-degree videos. A great opportunity for using observational skills. So let me this is one of my own videos, by the way. Turn that
All
down
right, we're at Shibuya Crossing, known as Shibuya Costa 10 or the Shibuya Scramble.
Probably myself there. So let me just jump ahead. Like, I mean, if I was to share this with my students, like, what do you think you're going to learn? Hey, look, I'm wearing the same jacket that I'm wearing now. Look at that. So, like, give a series of videos, maybe 360 videos of, for example, different cities or different cultural sites around the world, and students use their observational skills to talk about what they're looking at. Maybe there's narration, maybe there isn't. This one in particular is Hachiko, the loyal dog, major, big story in, in Japan kind of thing. So observational skills using 360-degree videos. That's JapaneseHistoryTrip.com if you're curious about learning more about Japan through 360-degree videos. Now, here's one that I love from Google Arts and Culture. Google Arts and Culture partners with different companies like National Geographic and the Smithsonian and other museums. And in some instances, they've got these 360-degree videos that kids can learn from, right? So I've got a list of, ones you might want to look at here. This one I think is kind of cool, especially for little kids. So you're in a particular museum here, and then here's like an ancient dragon.
History Museum in
And
London.
it's got the narration to go along
You're
with
now
it.
standing in the Fossil Marine
Right, so what you're
Reptile
going to see
Gallery.
is this thing come to life. Yeah, let me just jump ahead here. Right,
The
museum
Ramaliosaurus.
fills up with water in a moment.
This extraordinary.
There we go. So now it's all blue. We're underwater. Whoa! I tell you, elementary kids would in particular love this one. Thanks for the heart mark there, Sangita. Look at that. That thing just came alive. Wow, that is so cool. So you're learning from the narration, but you're also learning by looking up close at these recreations, right? I'm not going to go through all of them. There's a whole number here you could look at. The Space Shuttle Discovery one is pretty
Used
cool
its keen
because it's
eyesight,
interviewing two different
sensed its snout
one
to
scientist, one
track
astronaut.
down prey.
It's telling you what it looks like inside the space shuttle. So you've got science, you have history, lots of cool stuff. Let's see. And there's other things. Okay, so some nature cams are in 360, and you can see this one obviously is not doing what I want it to do. Here, let me just jump ahead here. Woo, and let's see. I did want to touch a little bit on 360 videos in that. This is what I have, the Ricoh Theta 5. This is where I take 360 videos and I narrate. And believe it or not, this device here, you can actually add a microphone to it. That's getting into the expensive zone. But there are a number of different companies that make 360-degree cameras where you can take video with your audio and photos. And I do think 360 is something we need to play with a little bit more, 360 imagery in schools, using Thinglink, for example. Google used to have Story Spheres, which was cool, but they got rid of it because not enough people were using it. So use this stuff, right? Expeditions is back, fortunately. Just a bit clunky to use still at the moment. Anyway, if you're interested in using 360 imagery in your classroom, hopefully you have it in the budget to buy a 360 camera. There's a range of prices, so I'm sure you can find something that you could use. And again, if you're taking video, you can just upload it to your YouTube channel. But anyway, have a look. There's lots of cool 360 imagery out there on YouTube, and you could be doing this yourself as well. All right, so now Google Forms. Here's a sample of a Google Form with the Black Death when I was teaching this to students ages ago. So there's a certain thing here. Now, this is not new. Let's embed a video in a Google form and students will answer questions. I do think this is good for finding out what maybe they don't know or reinforcing something they have studied. But the key idea is, and I've got it written in the instructions, read the questions first. I guess it reinforces the idea that students should read questions before they start answering them, before they start watching videos, so that they cue themselves for what they should be looking for, right? So put the video at the end of the Google form, and then put the questions at the top so that they have to think about what they're looking at. Now, what I like about having Google Forms for video, Google Forms with video and questions, is that they can do it at their own pace. They can take their time. And as they enter their answers, suddenly they get interrupted. They can come back to it later, right? Think about, students in school, they're trying to do a little bit of work over lunchtime, but then, I had to get to my next class. The form is still going to save their answers. Absolutely love it, right? Again, put the video last, though. Let me come back here. Let me close that one up. And again, formative quizzes, summative quizzes, surveys, polls, that kind of thing. There's a whole pile of different things that you could do. It could be an actual quiz, right? It could be a quiz on a video that you've made. And remember, too, you can make your own videos just using a slide deck and recording. You can record video in Google Workspace for Education right within the slides, right? So actually, if you have a slide deck, you can turn that into a video lesson like that. We'll get to that later. You can embed videos into Google Docs as well. If you're using Google Docs, All right, here's an example of where I've got a thumbnail of, or an image of what this video is about, ancient Rome, the Colosseum in particular. And I've got like a little bit of an explanation of it right here. You'll notice that this is just a couple of tables that I put in here. All right, so really you can just, you could wrap the text around it as well. Another thing could be choice boards, which I'm going to show you another example of that in a moment that looks a little prettier. Or you could embed them with smart chips, right? When you put your YouTube video link in there, you will get the option to turn it into a smart chip, which means you get the YouTube icon and you get the title of the video. These are just a few ways that you might want to embed YouTube in Google Docs. And hey, by the way, folks, let us know where you're viewing from, and if you have any of your own ideas, share a link, share a comment. All right, so embedding in Google Docs. All right, Google Slides, right? Pretty up your slides with Slides Mania, for example. There's a number of different, Slides Carnival and places where you can get free background slides with a watermark, or you could pay a little bit and make your use the templates. They're always pretty attractive. I tend to make my own slides. They're not as pretty, but that's just me. So here's some examples of things that you got from Slides Mania. Here's a little TV, but I've got my video in there. Looks a little bit, a little prettier, right? Here's another example, right? And again, you can get this stuff for free. Here's another example of how you might use Slides, Google Slides or Keynote or PowerPoint, whatever you use, in the class using video. I like to project things at the beginning of the day, provocations, not every single class, but from time to time, especially at the beginning of a unit or a section where I've got a short little 2-minute video with the questions beside it. So I wouldn't actually blow up or maximize the screen here with the video. I would actually just maximize it here so that the students can see the questions. But again, we'd read them together first. And as they watch, then they can think. And then I give them time to talk with their table partners or shoulder buddies, whatever you want to call it. And then we get the class started that way, right? A little bit of front loading kind of thing. And I just embedded a little video and this little TV icon right there. Pretty cool. Let's see. Again, same idea, 2 or 3 questions and then show a video. I'm not going to go through these because they're all kind of the same. You could use video to review if you find that good video. And again, you might want to put text on the side just as that prompt or reminder of what students are looking for. So for example, if I was reviewing his source analysis, right? Currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, purpose. I might show this video, let the students know where it's from. And this is the reminder of what they need to be thinking about before they have a discussion. So they watch this video that's by a conservative group that was anti-liberal. And then the students can say, okay, well, how accurate is it? Is it an opinion? Is it fact? What parts of it are fact? What parts of it are opinion? And that kind of thing. So you can use video for review as well. And there's a choice board, right? So let's say you have students working in a group of 3 or just individually. Okay, which one do you want? You pick your video based on what looks a little more attractive. Mind you, what I like to do is have students work, for example, in groups. In this case, it would be 3 students working together. Each student gets a different video. They're all about the same length, 3 to 4 minutes to 5 minutes long. And they would take their notes and then they compare notes and find out which videos have gaps missing. So if they look at 3 different videos on April Fool's Day, then they're going to get more information together as a group. So what one video may have, the other 2 don't. And that goes for the other ones. So then there's a chance where students can be, co-teaching. It's a jigsaw kind of thing almost. Here's just another way of presenting it. I kind of like this. It's a little more visual, but here's another way. And then, of course, you've got your questions there. This one doesn't have the questions, which could be put in probably right here. But the good thing about this one is I've got the questions students have to focus on right there. And this is a template if you wanted to just, when I give you the slides a little bit later on, you can copy that. All right. How about this? Put a prompt in large text in the middle, you get students to stand up and walk around. I do this and my students do like it. And I put a little thumbnail of the song up here. And the reason I put the thumbnail kind of small in the top corner, I don't want students to be focusing on the video. This is actually a little bit too big. But basically, I just play the video as they're either discussing things with their partner or thinking about what they're going to discuss, right? So if you're, pro tip at the bottom here, if you're doing this with your class, I mean, it's a good chance to foster open-mindedness and international mindedness, taking songs from different parts of the world. I do this at the beginning of the year with my MYP classes, and I've got a song from Kenya, I've got one from Germany, I got one from Colombia, one from Japan, Korea, the United States. It's a little more interesting, right? Anyway, the point with this, you can get students doing a stand-up, move around the room discussion activity, a little bit of background music, either while they're thinking or while they're talking, but they're not focusing on the video. It's like right there in your slide deck, which is great. All right. And again, if you've got some ideas, put them right here, please, right? I want to hear from you. Okay, third-party applications. TED-Ed. I think TED-Ed has so many good animated videos, right? TED-Ed animations, they're all about 4 to 5 minutes long. They're really well focused. They're really well written, really well animated, really well designed. So if you were to go to TED-Ed's YouTube channel, and I highly recommend this. Here's another thing I think people tend not to use so much. Search within the channel. For me, I've got something I'm going to show you in a moment using Padlet that I absolutely love. And I use only TED-Ed animations with it. But this is how I found most of those animations. I just typed the word history in there. And now all of these videos are I know that these are all just about history. And I could choose the ones that I thought were important or relevant for the way I wanted to use them, in my class. I mean, look at that. That's fantastic. Maybe I want to do just videos on science, right? So I've searching just science, and now here's a whole series of videos on science. Anyway, I think TED-Ed is brilliant. I want you to look at this now too. So TED-Ed does have their own platform, actually, where you can create your own lessons where now I'm not going to log in here because that's going to take up time and this and that, but basically you're going to share with students this lesson that you create. You have a link, right? And you can get them to sign up, and then they can you can see their answers and that kind of thing. It's not super well developed where you can respond to their questions and that kind of thing, kind of like you'd see with Edpuzzle, but it's still pretty good. Especially if you're introducing something or just reinforcing something. So here, you've got multiple choice questions, right? They have open-ended questions with this as well. There's a couple of examples of the open-ended questions. And then dig deeper, that's just more information for the students. And then the discuss part, students can actually reply and have some open conversation that the teacher can discuss as well. So just to let you know, TED-Ed, it's got that platform there as well. Pretty cool stuff. Let me just close a couple of those up. All right, moving on to the next one. Oh, TED-Ed Student Talks, everyone. They've got a great TED-Ed Student Talks program where they guide you as the teacher supervisor on how to give a good TED Talk. I've had a TED-Ed club at my school now for the 8th year. Super cool. I recommend you look into it. TED-Ed Student Talks. Edpuzzle. I absolutely love Edpuzzle. So let me go with a couple of samples here. Now, let me share this tab. Now, Edpuzzle is a platform where you can upload your own videos. You can upload Khan Academy, Nat Geo, and YouTube videos, and then you create a lesson out of it. Now, this one is not an example of a really well-developed one because all the questions are open-ended. But basically what you can do, what I do with my own class, in fact, I should probably have a better example there. Let me go back here and see if my second sample is actually a little bit more developed. Let me just wait for that to go. Skip the ad. Yeah. Oh, that's the actual video, not the actual. Okay. Let's go. Let's go with the tab I'm sharing. So basically, what I like to do is have instructions at the beginning of a video. So when you hit play, usually what happens is it's gonna stop at one point and it's gonna say, "Hey, in the next 30 seconds or 2 minutes, I want you to focus on this. You're gonna find information on whatever," and then the student knows what they're looking for. Now, what I like about Edpuzzle is that it's easy to find a YouTube video and link it, but then you create the questions here. The students have to answer them. This here allows them to skip at the moment because we're not logged in. For my students, they're not allowed to skip. And even when they go from one tab to another, the video stops. They have to actually watch the video in its entirety, at least if they're on the browser here, which I think is pretty cool. So you could have open-ended, multiple choice questions. You can grade it. There is a grade book. You can reply to the open-ended questions and that kind of thing. It's a really, really dynamic platform, and the integration with YouTube is seamless, and you don't get the ads when you use it. My students like this. I think it's a cool platform. However, it's not an Edpuzzle session we're doing here, so I'm going to leave it at that. I do highly recommend you check out Edpuzzle. And I do have a tutorial video on how you can use it, but Edpuzzle's got, it's had some changes since I made that video, so it'll get you started, but Edpuzzle has their own stuff anyway. Now, here's another thing with 360 integration, right? Thinglink, I think, is pretty cool. I'm going to give you an example of, let's see, let's go to Mitsumine Shrine, which is here in Japan, kind of in the north. Let me share this tab. And the content, for some reason, is private now. Okay. It's been a while since. Let's go with Full Bonjour. Okay, let me log in here. Okay, actually, let me log in with this one here. Bear with me here, folks. Oh, and now there's a authentication that I have to. You know what? I'm going to just kind of pass on this for a moment. Oh, no. You know what? It's worth it. Let's check it out. Didn't pull this up, but I do think Thinglink is worth looking at. Yes, it's me. I'm going to share this tab instead. I'm going to continue here. Let me just go continue. All right. So this is a place called Mitsumine. It's a little bit north of Tokyo. And so it's a platform that allows you to upload 360 images. Now, yes, you do need the images, but Thinglink does have a library where you could use their images kind of thing. I wanted to show this too because you could, I've changed the video content here. So these are all going to be unavailable. Let me pull another one up. Boy, I'm not doing so well on this part of it here. Let's go here. All right, so Fort Beausejour. And let's see some of the YouTube stuff. This is just a few hours. Yeah, I've gone and changed my YouTube channels. This is not going to be very helpful. But my point is, you can embed 360-degree videos and photos and images within 360-degree stuff. So have a look at Thinglink. It's pretty cool. It's another way where you can put, it's multimedia, right? So you can start with a 360 image, but then you can put YouTube videos that don't have to be 360. You can embed, YouTube videos and quizzes and all that kind of stuff in Thinglink if you want. Just another way to present the information if you're using video. Let me just pull up YouTube here again. See that everybody's still here. Oh, haven't lost any. That's wonderful. Now this I want to show you. Padlet. I absolutely love this map feature of Padlet. So if you look at this example here, which hopefully is not going to tell me to log in again. So there's different ways you could use this. I could use this in class as a slideshow. and then tell students to, hey, just randomly pick a place if you want. I'm not really into that though, because what I like to do is fill a little bit of time. Right? You've got an extra 15 minutes in class and half your students are finished, half are not. Then I kind of tell them, oh, let me, I've lost my tab here. Hold on. Let me share my screen here, folks. Let me share that one. Yeah. Okay. Like I've just noticed that I've, for some reason, it kicked me off. All right. So here I've got this world map, and what I've done is taken those TED Ed animations that I showed you earlier. Let's go down to Zimbabwe here. So what I've done is embedded a TED Ed animation plus a prompt here so that when students are logged in, what they can do is answer the questions. And for some reason, I'm not really seeing this here. Students can answer the questions, and I can go back, and if I want, I can grade them. It's a more meaningful way to fill a little bit of time that might be left over in class. I mean, this is the kind of thing that you can do if you want for a regular class activity at the beginning of class. Or the last 10 minutes of class, that kind of thing. These videos are only about 5 minutes long. And if you have good questions, it's going to open their minds. And that's another thing I like about this too. It's global, right? I've got examples of these things all over. Let me just fix my phone here. So examples of places from all over the world, which I think is ridiculously cool. All right, let me come back to slide deck. Anyway, go to Padlet, and that's free as well. So I recommend you do it, depending on, of course, what you teach. If you want to learn how to embed YouTube in other things like Google Earth projects, Book Creator, another great tool, and that kind of thing. Here's some sample videos, or tutorial videos, I should say, for you ahead here. We're not going to get into Nearpod, just a few more ideas. How about writing prompts? Show a video, and then students will, keep a journal, right? Maybe you'll do this like once a week. First 10 minutes of, class on Monday, every Monday. You show a 5-minute video. It's like you watch for 5, you write for 5, or you watch for 2 minutes and then write for 2 minutes, and then you watch another 2 minutes, write for 2 minutes. Writing prompts. And this is a baloney detection kit. Love that one. Could be video analysis, right? You get students to watch 2 videos of the same topic made by different people, and then find out where there are gaps, right? Which one might be inaccurate, right? Or like one says this, one says that. I've got to find out which one is right. Maybe they're both wrong. So I think video analysis is another way that you can, use YouTube videos in the classroom. Again, 2 different videos, maybe 3. Which one's right? Which ones are wrong? Another one too. Hey, why not storybook readings? And what I recommend is get your older young students to read storybooks. Make sure they've got the pictures here, and then they read to a younger audience. Like little kids would rather hear little kids read than adults, right? If it's done well. You do have to make sure that you've got books that you're allowed to do this with, right? And you probably wouldn't be able to monetize if you put this on a YouTube channel. However, you don't have to make your own videos. I think it's a cool project, right? Students reading children's books for children in your school who might be younger or that kind of thing. But there are videos where you've got authors reading their children's books for children. Why not, right? Poems and recitations. Why don't you record your students doing recitations, reading poems, readers' theater, or drama, and that kind of thing. Here's one of a student.
1, take a shower. You don't want to smell. 2, pick out an outfit that will.
Right, a little more context to this.
Liked her. Why am I not?
Well done. Again, readers' theater, right? Why not readers' theater? There's some fun things out there. Choose your own adventure. Short little 30-second videos, and at the end it says choose this option or that option. Those are pretty cool. I think teacher-made tutorials are really good. Students, when they hear your voice and your way of explaining things, I do think that they tend to, it tends to resonate with them better. My videos are a little bit more developed. I use Adobe Premiere Pro to do it. but you don't need that. All you need is really QuickTime and record your slides that you create. A lot of my videos, actually, the majority, they're really just on slides, right? That's all you need. You don't have to have great production to have good videos. Here's that teacher again. Really simple, but very impactful. Let's see. Here's one my students made. This was a project. The positive effects of volcanoes. They did stop motion animation.
Hi guys, I'm Sophie.
And I'm Jessica. Today we will be talking about
the positive effects of living close to a volcano. Living close
Teacher Yenny, great to hear you.
Because of its nice scenery and hot springs. For example, Mount.
Okay, let me actually, before I go into this, I've got Teacher Yenny here saying, got a lot of students that are a bit shy to go in front of the camera. I'm going to show you an example of something where students were demonstrating learning without being in front of the camera. I think this one right here, it's an example of students that are not showing their faces. They're just using their voices, which kind of helped them as well.
Hi guys, I'm Sophie.
And I'm Jessica. Today we will be talking.
Now, we had to talk about how do you do stop motion animation and that kind of thing, right? But it was a fun project and the students did very, very well with it. There's another sample of stop motion and another one. Now, this is one where students don't have to show their faces, but English as additional language learners were reading A Midsummer Night's Dream in grade 7, mind you, pretty challenging, I think. But what the English teacher asked me is to take a video with these students showing me that they understand the characters and their relationships within the story. So this is how I did it. I got not even a document camera. I got my iPad with a mount and then just had it over the students as they were explaining the characters.
Is a man who is a prince and who loves Hermia.
And yes, podcasting is good too. Students who don't want to be seen in video, they can do a podcast. And if you have your YouTube channel, you could upload it to YouTube as a podcast as well. You don't have to, of course.
So
I want to skip ahead with this just for a moment. So do you notice these students, they're explaining things. Now, the first student, she actually had good spoken English, but had trouble writing, which is why she did it this way. The other student had trouble with writing and speaking. They're both English as additional language learners, but notice how they could draw pictures as they're explaining. I mean, I was pretty happy with this, actually. I thought it was a good way to get them to demonstrate their understanding of the story and the characters and the relationships without them being seen. And you'll notice I used scrap paper for it. So it was a little bit hard to see. Moving right along. Having students do things like little explanations, like a magic trick or teaching a math problem or something, anything that students make, it doesn't have to be big production, nice and simple. Other students like that stuff. They don't want to hear me. Drama in the classroom as well. I think that's important. And again, students creating videos. And then if you created a playlist of their videos, this is an example of public service announcements about ethical practices of businesses. Create public service announcements and then put them in a YouTube playlist and then share the playlist via QR code with the community, post it around the school. There's a lot of stuff that you could do, right? Here's another example of internal conflicts, right? Civil war and crises around the world that were happening. This is about 5 years old now, but we created a playlist. You see the QR code there? That's actually, the thumbnail is the poster that we put on the walls that students could walk around, and teachers could walk around, and parents could walk around, and they could scan the QR code and then watch the video, which was a short 5-minute documentary video that the student made. And we have a whole playlist with them. In fact, let's see, I do believe, yeah, look at this, contemporary conflict. So again, we had, the thumbnails are a little bit different. Something happened to YouTube there. Anyway, you get the idea. Let me go back to this tab again. All right, here's one that I absolutely love. So students, this was their assignment. They're a team of YouTubers, right? They're a YouTuber team, one channel, and they're an economics YouTube channel. And the focus is education and teaching teenagers about economics. So they had to come up with a whole brand, the name for the channel, their color scheme, and all that. And then they had to take one topic in economics and break it down into its smaller parts, create a short video, but everything had to be standardized. In this case, they used Adobe Express, but you could, again, do it with Google Slides. You could do it with Canva, which is a Google partner company. And so what they did was create a series of videos with everything that is standardized, branded, if you will. And we did talk about branding, company branding, YouTube channel, influencer branding, that kind of thing. So all these videos, they all start the same way. They use the same theme from Adobe Express that they chose to make the video. Really cool stuff. Hey, we've got GEG Pedaling Jaya. Hey, good to see you. Another group of people from Malaysia. As I've said this morning, absolutely love Malaysia. Can't wait to go back. Anyway, back to this, though. So the students, this was a grade 10 assignment. So 6 students working together. Boy, they did a lot of collaborating. They got their grade on, actually, the grade was done based on the individual video that they made. You know, was the design consistent with what everybody else did? And then did you have the content for your part of mixed economies? So key characteristics, role of government, consumer sovereignty. This is where students did not get graded on collaboration, but they had the chance to collaborate, and they got graded on their own work. They absolutely loved this assignment, and they did really well with it. And kudos to the teacher who came to me and said, I want to use tech more in the class, but I need help. And I said, tell me what you want to do, and we'll figure it out. And we did. It was cool. In fact, the girls that made this, I had them present for Adobe at their teacher event a few years ago online. It was cool. Recording and editing, again, doesn't really matter what you use. I mean, phones, iPads, tablets, computers, they're all pretty high quality right now. So if you're going to make something for your own channel, you don't really need high production value. You really, really don't. A lot of good stuff out there. These little tripods and these mounts, I mean, you can get them for about $5 US each. In some cases, less, right? And again, recording and editing software, there's a load of stuff out there, Screencastify, Filmora. Do your own research on that. You know, if you just want to make videos really simply, why not use Canva? Why not use Adobe Express and then use images or use Google Slides and then record using either QuickTime or with an education account. You can actually record in the slides. I can't show you that right now because I'm in my private account. Let's see. And I've got some tutorial videos at the end here, but you don't really need those. Before I do let you go, and I do have a link we'll share for you with the a certificate. You can fill out the form and get a certificate for participating. A few things on copyright and copyright-free resources. Have a look. Make sure anytime you make your own videos, if you're using audio, video, make sure they're copyright-free, and always give some kind of citation for where you got it. That's what I recommend. Here are just a few in this slide that you can look at where you can get copyright-free images and audio, and sometimes video. And independent learning, if you want to learn how to be a YouTube creator, create a YouTube channel, here you go. Here's some links for you. And some other things that you might use to create your own content, whether you're using iPads or computers or whatever. Everybody's different, right? Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now. And what I want to do is dig up let me close this here. I first want to give you a link to the slide deck that you're looking at right here. There's a few things that need to be cleaned up, but I'm sure that's fine. I'm sharing with you my intellectual property here. Takes a long time to make these things. So link to the slides deck. Okay, there's a link to the slides deck right now, and then you can see all the links in there and all that kind of stuff. Now what I want to do is give you a link to a Google form. I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah. Okay, link to the certificate form. So if you choose to fill out the certificate, maybe I'll just quickly share my screen one more time here. I'm going to share my entire screen. Boom, here we go. This is what the form looks like. Really simple. Enter your email address properly. Enter your full name as you want it to appear on the form. And then from here, you can choose the sessions that are on offer. We might add a few more between now and tomorrow evening. And then, of course, you choose your date, click submit, and what's going to happen is you will automatically get a certificate like all these people have right here. All right, it really is that simple. You'll get a PDF certificate emailed to you. So let me stop sharing my screen again. So you're welcome, teacher Yenny. Thank you so much. Here, let's just kind of show that one there. Anyway, we have other sessions going on today. We have sessions on again tomorrow. You've got English, Hindi and English, Hindi, Filipino, Tagalog. So, you know, this is how we're kicking off the year, right? It's called Ignition EDU 25. We're kicking off 2025 just with a small number of sessions over a couple of days. We hope you enjoy them. And we want you to stay tuned with GEG Asia Pacific because we're working on our main event, which is going to happen later on in the year. And it's usually a pretty big one with lots of languages, lots of different topics. It's pretty cool stuff. So thank you for joining me. Feel free to go and download your certificate when it's emailed to you. And please check out some of the other sessions. I know we've got our friends in India and in the Philippines presenting some pretty cool stuff. Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock and 4 o'clock for a couple more sessions. Bye.